Good afternoon, my people. What is going on, Wealth Our Way family? You're live with your man. I got my LL on right there. My apologies. You're live with your man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform, Wealth Our Way, where our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. Today is Thursday, April 1st, 2021. You know, April 1st is historically known as April Fool's Day, but I'm here to bring you some knowledge that's going to keep you from not being a fool. So I thank you, everyone who is live in the audience right now, either on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Appreciate you showing support for your man and coming to get these nuggets. Anybody who's watching this on a pre-record, overnight, during the weekend, sneaking in the bathroom, however you get your 15 minutes, baby, do your thing and watch 15 minutes of finance. I'm here to drop real science on you today, real factual science on you today. About to tell you about this market, the impending crash that is coming, and help you get prepared for how to survive it. Because let's be clear, I talked to you yesterday about doom and gloom and selling fear and all of that. Your man Big Tank is not here to do this, but be clear, bad times are on the way. You know, be afraid, be very afraid. However, let me do what most people don't do when they tell you about the fear, if they ever call it correctly. So that's another thing I'm doing right now. I'm calling it correctly. How early I am, yet to be told, but I'm calling it correctly. The reality is, though, most people just want to tell you about the bad. I'm here to tell you how this can be good for you and how to survive it, because there have been crashes, corrections, bear markets. We've had a whole lost decade before in the history of the United States economic system. And we're still here, baby. We done survived them all. What I want to show you, though, is how to thrive through this one. I told you yesterday, and it bears repeating today, this upcoming financial crisis is going to be one of the greatest redistributors of wealth that this country has ever seen. I think that we have seen from a heavenly spirit above, and I won't get too sanctimonious on you cats, but we have seen such a seismic change in the way this country has been and the way this world has been. We are seeing things that we've never seen before. And it's all new. Like, I'm a 50-year-old cat. God willing, maybe I got another 40 in the game, 50 in the game before I go to the upper room. But before I go, I'm going to give you this knowledge. But my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids, they're here to stay. My stepdaughter's in the other room right now. She's been on her laptop all day, talking to her friends from school all day. And just hearing them talking about different websites and technologies, the best is ahead of us, technically. So me, I'm an old school fool. I don't rock with technology too much. But when you think about the fact that we have a whole new medium of financial value out here in cryptocurrency, mainly in Bitcoin. And I'm going to do a whole webinar on Bitcoin in this current quarter. I keep saying next quarter because quarter one is over. Quarter two is going to be chock full of events. Got to get you cats ready because the rain is coming. So I promised you some screen sharing today. I'm going to give you factual information that's going to make you go, it's really literally going to do that. I wish I could see y'all the way y'all can see me, because I want to see your mouth drop when I show you these things. So let's start with the first screen share. I'm going to show you right now something that I promise you nobody here knows. Anybody who knows this after I show it to you, put it in the chat. Let me know you know this. So what do we spend in America? We spend the dollar, right? Whether we write a check, use a credit card, a debit card, or actually spend cash, our currency is the United States dollar. There's a whole economic lesson as to what it means to have a dollar, but I'm not going to break all that down to you. What I'm going to tell you is that a very simple concept is supply and demand. And another very simple concept that all of you can get is that America is not the only country on the globe. So we have foreign trade. We deal with foreign economies. You guys have most likely been on a vacation at some point in your life and gone somewhere where the United States dollar is not the currency of choice. What this means is that The dollar has a value to us of $1. It's a dollar. We can get a penny. It's 1/100th of a dollar. We know what these values are. But every day, all day, the value of that dollar is going up, down, or staying the same based on economic conditions. One of the biggest economic conditions that changes the value of a dollar is its supply and its demand, mainly supply. We have a economic system of supply side economics. The Federal Reserve can control or restrict the amount of currency. They can expand or contract the interest rate. I'm going to show you a chart right now. It's going to blow your mind on what has happened in the last year with monetary policy. Peak game. So this is a chart. You guys can all Google it. I know before you start screaming it out, the chart is small. What do you want me to do? This is what I have for you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try and make it bigger. I'm gonna take my face off the screen. Let's see if this works. Boom, a little bigger. You can hear me, you can't see me now, I believe. This is the money supply in the United States. If you look all the way to the far right, at the very bottom, you will see year 2020 and what looks like, I'm colorblind, so I'm going to go with a tan section of the chart. Now you can see that this graph has been growing steadily on an upward tick forever. You know, it goes back, I think, at the latest date we see here is 1985, go back probably to 1980. But this has been steadily growing since 1980. And we would expect that as population grows, more money would be in circulation. Look at the spike that happened last year as a result of the stimulus package. But I don't even want you to focus on that. That in and of itself is crazy. Don't focus on the fact that it spiked up and there's more money in supply than ever before, thus pushing the value of our currency down internationally. I want you to look at the top line on this chart, the tan one that runs across the screen horizontally, and look at what the word in parentheses says. Let me come back to being on the screen with you because y'all need to see my face. In parentheses, it says discontinued. That basically means that public transparency of information that you can go online and see what is happening economically, they're not showing us anymore. They know it's so skewed and so off that they don't even want us to know. Like, yo, this is crazy. It's bad. So when I told you the other day that we're in for a major U.S. stock market correction, I told you that's not everything. We're about to have what's called a triple witching, where multiple things happen bad all at the same time. We are going to have a stock market correction, and I'm going to justify that explanation real quick as well. So let me stop the one share that I was doing and start a second share. Give me a second. Share my screen, share my Chrome tab, and I want to show you the S&P 500. And let's go back to the StreamYard, and here we go. The S&P 500. I educated you guys yesterday as to what a price to earnings ratio is. This blue line represents price to earnings ratio. Once again, I'm going to take my picture off so I can make this as big as it'll allow me to make it. So there's the chart. If you look to your far left at the numbers that are going up the left axis, look at the number 20. And then when you look at number 20, just go across 20. And you will see that historically, going all the way back to the Great Depression, that the S&P 500 has a price to earnings ratio that on average is around 2022. If you look at all the dips below, the huge dip up in 2008, you would see that the average historical return for the S&P 500 is around 22 times earnings. That means that for $1 of earnings of the U.S. stock market, you would be willing to pay $22. Now, quick, Finance 101 lesson. Why would you pay $22 for $1 of earnings? Because you're buying ownership of that earning moving forward. So you will not just be buying $1, you're buying every dollar that earns after that. So that's called the price to earnings ratio. If you look at that very, very huge spike that is right before the end, you go back to slightly after 2000, that represents 2008, when the S&P 500 had a price to earnings that was 136 times earning. And it went to the hugest run up and drop off in United States history. If you look at where it's at right now, it's at its third highest peak ever. I predict that we won't get back as high as 2008, but we will go back to where we see the second highest peak, which was 2001, right after 9/11. And we're going to see price to earnings ratio, I think at the end of March, the PE was 42, I want to say. And in 2008, it was 46. I think we're going to probably have a little more uptick, maybe get to 46, 48, 50 even. So there's some good return ahead of us. And then Katie bar the door, as my first coach used to say to me in college. I don't know why he wanted Katie to bar the door, but I'm thinking there was trouble on the other side of the door. Katie was his wife. He wanted the door barred so no one could come in. This is going to be crazy. So I'm showing you what's going on with the flooding of dollars in the American economic system, which means that we're not going to have anywhere to run internationally. Our dollars are going to be trash. I'm showing you that the stock market itself is going to be so overpriced at more than twice the historical average that we're going to have a correction in the stock market. Now, let me show you the third craziness here. Let me stop that share and go with one more share here. Share screen, Chrome tab, and we'll go with the United States government debt. Back to the StreamYard. Take my face off. This one's going to be a little harder to read. What we will do, I will speak with Renee. Hi, Renee. I'll speak with Renee and we'll put this information. I don't know where we'll put it, but we're going to put this information that sums up what I'll probably put it in the comments section so you can come back to the Facebook page and see the comments later. But this is basically, it's a website called Trading Economics. It's basically telling you all of the things that are associated with the United States government as it pertains to government debt. And what you will see, every indicator, the second one was the price to earnings ratio. It's the cost of the stock market, which is almost at the second all-time high it's ever been at. That normally leads to a correction or a crash, but it's never been where it is this high, combined with the amount of currency that's in existence, triple matched up with the debt that our government has taken on. So when your dollar is trading for less than value to a company like, let's say, China, that wants to own us and on paper damn near does, we can't buy our way out of this debt, because if you look here at these debt numbers, you look here at government debt, the last trade is at its highest ever. If you look at the government spending, the spending amount is damn near at the highest ever. Government spending as it compares to the gross domestic product, which is the entire output of the American economic system, our spending is at the all-time high. Our government financially is in trouble. Keep an eye out for your man, Big Tank, too. I'm saying all this, but they may come get me. They may come get your boy. So just, if you see B13 or whoever the people were on Scandal, van circling my block, keep an eye out for your man. I'm trying to give you this knowledge, but they don't necessarily want you to have the knowledge. So make sure they don't come get your boy. With that being said, the triple witching is coming. And I have a strategy to help you guys. I have a strategy on how you can make sure you survive it. I also know that if you have less involved in the market, where African Americans do right now, we always talk about this racial wealth gap. The cats that got the dough, it's going to hurt. But those of us who are building our wealth, it's going to be an opportunity like no other. So with that being said, I'm at 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up tomorrow with the last bit of information on how you can protect yourself moving forward and capitalize with the tumultuous times that are on the horizon. Charles Tank Harris, Wealth Our Way. Remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow at 12:30 on the dot.